Ready? Let's start. Okay, is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, great. Yes. You want this fan? What cover? हाँ सर, क्या चाहिए? साइड कवर। वो साइड कवर ही है ना अंदर। साइड कवर नहीं है क्या? हाँ वो बाहर ही रखा है मैंने। हाँ बाहर रखा। Okay, sorry. We'll close this file. So in the previous class, we did about flooring. How do we add finished floors? And we did about the sunken flooring as well. How do we add the sunk floors? Okay. And we add the finished flooring as well. Okay. We might also have done adding the skirtings. How do we add skirtings to the floor tiles? As you can see, we have added skirtings as well. This we have added using the wall sweep command basically here. Okay. Now, generally what happens when we do create the flooring for the bathrooms, the bathroom floors are slightly sloped basically there. Okay, so that the water is being drained out from the drain pipe. So if you want to create a floor that is sloped in angle basically there, okay, so how do we create that? Today we're going to look into this. We have already created the flooring for the bathrooms, okay, but it is not sloped. Let me create a section for you. Sorry. So I'll create a section for your bathrooms. Take section line, create one section, cut it through this. Okay. And I'm going to go into that view. Fine detailings. And as you can see, the flooring is not been sloped. It is totally flat. Okay, so from one side we wanted to show that the floor tile is gradually sloping basically there. Okay, so we want to slope the floor basically there. So for slope floors, what you need to do is first we'll select the finished floor. So this is our finished floor. So we have selected that floor. Now अभी क्या करना है? We'll come into edit type. किस में आओगे आप? Edit type feature में आओ. Okay. अब इसमें edit type में आप क्या करो, टाइप को डुप्लीकेट करने की जरूरत नहीं क्योंकि ऑलरेडी हम लोगों ने टाइप का नाम यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि इट्स FFL मास्टर बाथरूम के लिए है, सो डुप्लीकेट करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. विल जस्ट गो इनटू स्ट्रक्चर एडिट, एंड व्हेन यू गो इनटू स्ट्रक्चर एडिट यू विल फाइंड एन ऑप्शन एट द एंड व्हिच सेज वेरिएबल. Okay, now you have two options over here to do variables basically. The first one is this is our finished tile, and दूसरा layer this is our mortar actually. So you can see the material name also appearing. So the first layer, this is our finish tile layer, and this is our the supporting material, that is the mortar basically. Now it is asking me which one you want to make it variable. Do you want to make the finish tile as variable, or do you want to make the mortar as variable basically there? So what we're going to do is we're going to make the mortar as variable. Okay, so the tile thickness will remain constant. Okay, so when there is a slope, the जहाँ पे slope होगा वहाँ पे mortar क्या होगा basically there will be given reduced basically, it will be pressed and compressed basically there. Okay, tile thickness will remain 20 mm throughout. Okay, but if I make tile as variable, okay, the finish as variable, what will happen? The mortar thickness will remain constant 10 mm, but the tile thickness will start gradually reduce wherever there is a slope basically there. So I don't want to reduce the thickness of the tile because the tile thickness will remain constant. The mortar should be variable basically there. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that the mortar layer has the variable option ticked on basically there. तो ठीक है, so हमें क्या करना था, सिर्फ मोटार का जो लेयर है उसे वेरिएबल पे टिक रखना है बेसिकली, ऑन रखना है. Okay, once you do that, you can then click on OK to apply it, apply and OK. Still it doesn't make the floor sloped. Okay, तो अभी भी फ्लोर जो है वो स्लोप नहीं है. ठीक है, तो अभी भी हमें क्या करना है, फ्लोर को स्लोप करना है बेसिकली उधर. ओके, सो टू मेक द फ्लोर स्लोप once again, okay, I'm going to click on the edit boundary command, or there is another option also like this shape editing tool is also there, but I'll show you the disadvantage also of this tool, what happens when you use this shape editing tool. Okay, first we'll see the simplest method of sloping the floor. Okay, so we're going to select this floor once again, the finished floor, and then you're going to click on edit boundary. Okay, now when I come into edit boundary, it tells you can't do edit boundary in this level or in this view, you need to be in the floor plan view. So I'm going to come into the floor plan view and click on it. So now once again I'm back in the floor plan view and I want to create a slope basically there. So you can see in this edit boundary we have this option called slope arrow basically there, so that we can create a slope in the flooring basically there. So I'm going to take slope arrow. Okay, and then I'm going to draw which side sloping arrow you wanted to apply basically. So supposingly we want to apply the sloping at this direction over here. Okay, so I'm going to draw a point from this point over here all the way to this end over here. Okay, so you see it's kind of, it creates a kind of an arrow basically here. Okay, so that's the arrow that we got, the slope arrow. We can select that slope arrow and you can see it says specify, it says height at tail over here. So we can say that we want to create a slope, so we'll give slope option. So we need to specify the type of arrow as slope. Then we have an option over here, level at tail, which is default basically there. Okay, so we'll take it as plinth level, and then we can give the height of tail basically there. So what height you wanted to keep it the tail basically there. So I can give the sloping amount basically there. So maybe I'm going to give -2 mm or -3 mm of slope. Okay, so generally the slope will come as 1:3 ka ratio basically there. And then we can click on finish mode, apply, and this is remove the constraint. You can see slightly it's changed the tile position as well, and when I go to that section view and check, oh, it went upwards basically. So it went upward. And the boundary, floor plans, mm. We can give the ratio. It's coming upwards, so let's change the ratio only. This side is sloping. Why is that happening? That means I need to move this little above. No, it's like overlapping it. So it creates a slope, but it does overlaps over here. Shouldn't happen. Then we can use the join geometry tool. So that we don't see that cuts basically. Now you can see it got sloped. So the floor is sloped over here. Okay, so that's one method of sloping your flooring. The other method of creating a slope in the floor is very simple once again. So you select the floor. No need to use the edit boundary this time. Instead of using edit boundary, I'm going to use this option that is called modify sub-element over here. Okay, so what this will do, it will allow me to create a point manually. Okay, so I'm going to click on modify sub-element. Okay, I'll just click on remove constraints. You see at the end, I'm getting these dot points, these dot points, these dot points, these dot points. So now what I can do is I can select these dot point and give a value of slope basically. So which side you want to create a slope? Maybe on this side I want to create a slope. So I'm going to select this point and give a value. Maybe I'm going to give negative 3 or 5. Let's give negative 3. Okay, unjoin it, join it, join it. Right, now I'm getting this option that can't cut join geometries basically there. This is because I'll tell you, when I select this floor, come into the edit type, come into the edit structure. Okay, variable is on, but to what basically? To the mortar is on. Okay, it's already on, so why it's still getting a problem? Modify sub element, select this point. Let's give negative 3. Let's take negative 2 first. Can't cut joint element and join it. Problems. In the section view, modify, select that point, negative 3. Maybe this is the creating the problem. So we can come into modify. Let's take unjoined geometry, unjoin it with the wall, so that it becomes overlaps. Now we can take modify sub element, select that point, negative 2. Yeah, so that solves the problem. 5 solves the problems. Okay, so it's sloping. You can see it's gradually sloping. Can again select this floor, click on modify, select the point. Okay, negative 6. जितना slope करना है उतना negative value आपको लेके डालना है basically. But this will be a slightest little problem over here. Okay, that you might sometimes see the tile would break down. Okay, maybe if I switch this to realistic, let's preserve it, but sometimes it breaks down the tile. Okay, so that creates sometimes a lot of errors basically there. Okay, so if there is a more slope, the tile might break actually. Okay, and it might not fit properly basically there. So this error comes sometimes basically, sometimes as I told you, not always basically. So you need to try and see it basically. So if the tile gets broken basically, then you have to use this method. You need to select this floor, then you click on edit boundary, and then you need to create the sloping lines, and then you need to provide the slope ratio, okay, to slope into the direction basically, whichever direction you want to slope it basically. Okay, same way over here. In this one, we selected the slope and we click on modify sub elements basically. Okay. Now, one more thing is that key, like when I see in the section view, I don't have these beams actually. The sunken beams are not there, or anywhere the beams are not there in the project basically. So beams are not applied it or not been created basically there. Okay, so if you wanted to create the beams and the columns in the project, it's very simple to create it. So first thing we need to be in the structural plan. Okay, so I'll come into the structural plan to create the columns and the beams for the project. Okay, so now if you see in the structural plan, I'm only seeing only one level. Plinth level is only visible. Okay, so we need to create other levels as well. So we have already created ground level, plinth level, the terrace head levels and the terrace level, but that is not been visible in the structural plans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the view tab, and in the view tab, I'm going to go into this option that is called plan view. And in plan view, I'm going to come into structural plan view, and I'm going to activate these levels, whichever I needed. So maybe I need the ground level. I don't need the parapet level, so I'm going to not take that. I might need the terrace level as well, basically, but not need the terrace head level. So, or maybe if I need for creating the beams for the terrace head level. So I'll take all these levels except for the parapet level and then click on OK. So now if you see in the structural plan, I have the ground level plan, I have the plinth level plan, I have the terrace head level and the terrace level basically. So I may come back into the terrace, the plinth level, and maybe if I want to add first the columns in the project, structural columns. So to add a structural columns, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the structure tab. And when I come into the structure tab, there is this option for adding columns basically. So I can add columns. And in the columns right now, it is taking a universal column, that's an steel column. Maybe we want a concrete column, so we can come into this option which says load family. And when you come into load family, we need to come into this folder called of our C drive, program data, Autodesk, RVT 2022, libraries, English, and we're going to come into US over here. And we're going to search for a folder called structural column. Here we have structural columns. So when you go into structural column folder, we have the type of columns over here, concrete column, or you want light steel cage columns, or you want recast columns, steel columns, or wooden columns basically. So we want concrete columns, we're going to come into concretes. Now when you come into concrete column, we have the rectangular column with a cap, drop cap basically there. So this type of column is majorly used for civil bridges basically there. So that holds the bridge basically. So the cap holds the bridge actually. So we don't want a cap column actually. So you just wanted a rectangular column. So we can take concrete rectangular column. Then we have the rounded column with again the cap drop basically there. So again, this is again used in civil bridges. Then we have just the rounded rectangle, and we also have a square column as well, concrete column as well. So we can load all these three types. Maybe I would load square. I'll also load the round one and also load the rectangular columns. So all these columns can be loaded together and load once. Wait for a few minutes to get loaded. Once they have been loaded, then we can select the type of column from here, whether you want a rectangular column, whether you want a rounded column, or whether you want a square column basically. Okay, so maybe you want some rectangular columns. These are the sizes that are available currently right now: 300 by 450, 450 by 600, and 600 by 750 sizes of rectangles are available, which we can change it. So maybe if I want a rectangle that is of at least let's say 200 by 150 or 230 by 150 size of columns. So we can come into the edit type. We can duplicate this type. We can call this type as let's take it as 230 by 150, right? And then we can click on OK, and then we can change the sizes as well. So this can be 230 there. It can be like 150. Okay, can give the type mark to this column as well. Maybe you can call this as C1. Okay, and then you can place it wherever you want to place this particularly column into the positions basically that. Okay, so whichever side you want to put it in, you can put it in as well. So you have multiple size of columns available. Okay, so maybe I'm going to place one column right over here. Okay. Before I place the column also, so you see I'm taking a vertical column and it is going in depth actually. So it goes below this level. So plinth level ke niche jayega. So I don't want that to happen. So I'll take a height. And up till what height you want to take this column, you can select. So from plinth, we want it up till the terrace level. So I can take up till terrace level. And then I can drop a column over here. So it will create a column, maybe one column, maybe I will place one over here, right? So you can start placing columns into your projects. Okay, now I know the alignment of the columns are not pretty straight basically there, so we need to fix the alignment as well. I'm just placing very randomly right now. Okay, now if you want to align these columns, we can take the modify tool, take the align command and align it with this core boundary line and this line, and you can lock it as well. Core to core. You can change the size of these columns later on if you want different size. Right, so you can change the column sizes. So you can align all of these columns wherever you have placed it. So make sure you align it with the core boundaries. You can come into visibility graphics. So if you press VG and take walls, expand this, and you can hide the non-core layers so that you just see the core of the wall, and then you can click on align tool, these columns. Okay, so these are the columns that we have created. Now if you look into the 3D view, you don't see the columns actually in the 3D view. Okay, that's because they are inside the walls actually. So what we can do is now in the 3D view, you can come into visibility graphics and hide the walls. And if you click on OK, we see the columns that we just recently placed in basically. Okay. Similarly, we can add the beams as well. So we can come in that level, whichever level you want to add the beams. For adding the beams as well, you can come into the structural tab. And we can take the structural framing beam command. Okay, the shortcut key for that is BM, and for column it is CL actually. Okay, so now if I take the beam command, now in beams right now, once again the beam is the universal beam, which is the I beam actually, which we don't want it. Maybe we want a rectangular concrete beam. So we can click on load family. Just like we loaded the concrete beam column, we'll load the concrete beam as well. So we'll go into the same folder, C drive, program data, Autodesk, RVT 2022, English and US. And in this, we're going to search for a folder called structural framing actually. So we're going to look up for a folder called structural framing. Now in structural framing, again, we have the type category of beams like concrete beam or light steel, light gauge steel basically that, or you want precast. You can take steel beams, you can also take wooden beams, which type of beam you want to load. So we want to load some concrete beams, so we can take concrete beams. Now we have three type of concreting beams. We have a rectangular concrete beam, we have a pan joist beam, and we just have sorry, with the ledge one, and we have the pan joist one. So this is a little bit taper one. Okay, and with the ledge you will get a ledge beam actually. Okay, so beam and another drop of the beam has been created. So we just want a rectangular beam, so we can take a rectangular beam, and then we can click on open. And here are the different sizes of the rectangular beams. So we have 300 by 600 and 400 by 800. If you want to create your own size of beam, you can come into the edit type and you can duplicate the type of the beam, and you can give it the size over here. Maybe I want 300 by let's say 450 mm beam. So I'll take 300 by 450. And then I can sketch the beam lines or create the beam lines. Okay, so maybe I will create a beam from the center, maybe from mid to this up till here. So beam has been created, but we can't see it because the wall is obstructing. So you can come into visibility graphics, and you can switch off all these settings. And you can just keep the structural tabs open. So structural beam, structural columns, structural connections, fabrications, framing, path, rebars, stiffness, trusses. These all structural elements will keep it on. Okay, so now it shows me. I still can't see the beams actually, so it's below it. So if I switch this to wireframe, you'll see the beams being created. You can align these beams with that column lines. Okay, or you can align this column as well. Switch into 3D view, and you can see there's beams as well. And maybe if you want to take this column more from, not from the plinth level but from the ground level, you can see all these columns are been created from the plinth level. So you can select all these columns, and you can tell it that base level should be from the ground level. So the constraints. There you go. Beams ready.
So can we also show the foundation in
Yes, you can do the foundation, but only thing is that in the architectural template, we cannot do the reinforcement detailings. So if you want to do reinforcement detailings, it's not been done in architecture. It has been done into structural template only, basically. Okay, so if you want to do foundation, so I'll show you how to do that as well. You need to create a level. So I'm assuming that my ground level is the foundation level. Okay. Let me just create a level only. Let's take it another 600 deep foundation. You can take these columns up to the foundation layer levels actually, instead of taking till the ground level. And create the footers as well, foundation footings or pile footings, whatever you want. For that, I'm going to come into that specified level. Now you can see in structural plan, I don't see that foundation level plan. So once again, I'll come into view. Gonna take the plan view, take structural plan, take foundation levels, so that I can add the foundations for these columns. So once again, I'll come into structural tab and I want to add foundations. So I'll take foundation, and in foundation, I'll take isolated to add the isolator footers. Okay, so I can take isolated. It says no structural foundation family has been loaded. So I'll click on yes, we want to load one. Then I'm going to come into the same folder, C drive, program data, Autodesk, RVT 2022, libraries, English and US. And we're going to search for a folder called structural foundation. There we are. So when I come in structural foundation, I'll get the type of foundations. So I have an MCAP foundation. So then we have footing, rectangular footing. Then we have one pile cap, basically there are two pile cap, three pile cap, four pile cap, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are up till 9 pile caps are also there. So just we have the pile caps. Okay, then pile caps with W piles basically there, which is the steel pipes actually. Then we have just the piling caps over here. Then we have the triangular caps. We have shapes. Then you have steel pipes, steel sleeve foundations. Okay, so whichever type you want. Maybe you want a sleeve foundations, you can take sleeve foundations. Or maybe just we want a rectangular footing, we can take a rectangular footing. Now there is no spread footing or step footing available. So that is something we need to create a family actually. Okay, or you can use the rectangular footing only, and you can create two different levels to create this step footings or these spread footings actually. Okay, so I'll take the rectangular foundation, and that's the sizes that are available: 1800 by 1200 by 450, and then I have 2400 by 1800 and 450, and then I can place it right in the middle of these columns. You can change the orientation by pressing the space bars. When you now look into your 3D view, we don't see that foundation that we laid actually. So visibility graphics will make sure that the structural foundation tab is on. We can see that foundations applied actually. So that's the beam. We have the columns and we have the foundations as well now. So slowly and steadily we are getting our whole model completely ready in BIM. Okay, the main aim of BIM is like to showcast everything. Okay, now we have a little trouble over here that you can see this column and this slab is like overlapping it. So to fix that issue, what we're going to do, we're going to come into modify, we're going to take join geometry tool and join this slab with the column actually, and it will cut the column then. Okay, so the column gets cuts off. So wherever you find these errors, you just join geometry then. And if your beam placement is also pending, you can start placing the beams. Okay, so keep on adding all these beams and everything. It overlaps it. So make sure that you don't overlap your beams, the column actually. Then you look into that sections and everything, you'll find all the detailing is coming in. Still wants to create the beams and everything. And if you see this slab is like overlapping or anything like that, it needs to be fixed up. This is the wall that is overlapping it. So you can select the wall and we can tell it that attach the base of the wall till the flooring slab actually. So that it doesn't overshoots it. Even this beam is like overlapping it. Join geometries. Just 1 minute, guys. Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me, guys? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're
Okay.
audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So even this is coming, this slab is getting hitting with
Yes,
that
sir, you're
slab.
audible.
Okay. So see, we just have to fix this errors that we are getting. Like all of my beams are getting overlap with the slab and everything. So we're gonna just use join geometry tools to fix up these issues. Just make sure that we select the beams. We can take unjoin element as well. First unjoin it. We first create all the beams, then we can clearly understand it. This is creating the error. You can see the sunk fill is overlapping actually. So showing geometries over here, showing the sunk fill with the slab actually. The beams get cut. Yeah, just over dragged it actually. So yeah, the slab and the beams can created. The sunken slab is created. The structural beams. So these beams are not properly placed. So make sure that gets aligned. Align to. Just have to keep on aligning at these elements. It's not align. Sankan. Ready? We'll just have to create the structural part first. Okay, so you can add all these elements, floorings and everything. Okay. Now, sometimes what we see is in the finished floor also, we have this inlay and everything basically they're done. Inlay flooring is being done. So something like this. Have these inlay tile actually, center tile or something. And something we wanted to do these kind of flooring, inlay flooring in Revit. Okay, so how do we do that? So first thing, we need to have that inlay texture with us. Okay, so if I come into data, I have some textures. So if I show you just a minute, over here in the desktop only, I saved it yesterday. There we have. You can see I've already have this inlay textures ready with me. I can now use it in one of my these room. Maybe I'll take it in the living room. So I'm going to select that flooring, the finished flooring. Okay, so I've selected the finished floor. So when I select the finished floor, I click on this option which is called create parts. Okay, which will allow me to edit the part of the flooring basically. Okay, so when I click on create part, okay, so now we can use the command of divide or merge part or exclude the part, or we can do anything with that specified part basically. So again, I can select this part over here and then click on this option which is called divide part. Okay, or you can double click it. No, double clicking is not allowing me, so we'll take divide part command and then I can like sketch a path or sketch a shape. Maybe I'll take it as shape in this middle of this room. Okay, I'm going to give a radius of, let's say, 700. Okay, so that's the shape that I wanted to apply. And then I'm going to hit on the finish mode. And one more time, finish mode. Okay, now I can exclusively select that part. And that part can apply a different material. So I'm going to come over here. It says material by original is on. So जो material मैंने original floor को apply किया था वही material इस पे भी applied है. So we're gonna uncheck this option which says material by original, and then I'm gonna create my own material over here, that inlay flooring material, whatever it is. And I'm gonna create a new material. Name this material as AR-FFL-inlay tiles. Graphics. Can give surface pattern size, maybe I'll give a size of like, which will give, let's take it as size of 700 by 700 only. Take the 600, duplicate this, and it says 700. So you can match it properly. Appearances. You directly take the image. Okay, or you can take tiles as well. Contrast 1. Like one tile size should be 100, 700. The caps will be very minimalistic, 0.10. And in that tiles we want that inlay tiles we can take tile appearances में यहाँ पे image option में जाएंगे, wherever you have that texture image, come and select that texture image. Okay. Size can be also be maintained over here. You want reflective, you don't want reflective, you can adjust these parameters. Apply and okay. You see that tile pattern is coming in, but it's like repeating actually. Don't want that repetitive. Now why it's repeating, because the tile size that I've given is like 700 by 700 and the radius is actually of 700, so I should have taken the tile size double actually, so it should be of 1400. So once again I can like come over here and inlay, and instead of taking the tile size as of 700, we'll take it as of 1400s. Even the image size would be of 1400s. Right now it is not coming properly in the center. Now to fix that issue, if it doesn't come in the center, okay, the texture doesn't fits in the center, what we're going to do is we're going to switch this mode to constraint colors or hidden lines. Okay. And we're going to make sure that this alignment is properly set in the center of the line. So you can take align tool, you can take this here, and one more, this alignment. Still it doesn't look in center actually, so that's because, yeah, I'll so tell you the another reason of not being center, because the graphic appearance made this is of 700s, which we want it of 1400 now. Slightly it's not in the center yet. In the center. Spot. Okay, so we got that inlay flooring in applied it. Okay. This is something uniquely you can do it in Revit. Okay, in 2021 or 2022 version, or if you have 2019, 2020 or 2022 version of Revit, you can do this kind of inlay flooring as well. Okay, the how did I get it in the center was very simple. I went in the plan view actually and switch this mode to constraint colors or hidden lines. And I'll be obviously getting that these lines, actually this constraining lines basically, or this graphic lines basically, that which I can select the line, and then you can use the arrows, okay, to align it. Okay, so I aligned it from the left and the bottom so it fits properly in the circle. Okay, and then you click on finish mode and check whether the tile is come in the center or not basically. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So we'll keep it till here. Tomorrow, same time, 4 o'clock. Okay, we'll continue with the other detailings. Okay, so we'll start adding other components. Like now we'll start adding staircase in the buildings. How do we create stairs? Okay, then the ramps, then we'll create the railings. Okay, so we'll see how we add the other components, other architectural components like stairs, ramps, and railing command basically. So till now we have all completed with the walls command. We have also did a part of columns now. We did floorings, structural flooring, sun slabs. Okay, even the curtain walls are being completed. Now we are into the part of circulations like railing, ramps, and staircase basically. Okay, so we'll move ahead with this part. Then we'll go back again to doors and window, how we can create customized door and window, solid door and window. We have already learned how do we create glass doors, but not the solid doors. So we'll also learn about how do we create solid door and solid windows basically then. Okay, and we'll complete off this project once again. Okay. So see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Most welcome. If the link is not working, please keep on trying the link. Maybe the server would be busy. I'll see if it doesn't work, then I'll send you another link and check if that is working or not.
Sir, actually, it states that the email through which I log in is not in the directory, so I'm not able to access.
Okay, I have sent it two links actually. Which one did you try?
So the second one which was there, so I already have those videos.
Okay.
The first, yeah, till the 21st of
Which
May.
which video you have up till 21st of May?
Yes.
1 minute. Actually, in that link, there should be everything. Just a minute, yeah. I'm also getting that error now. I'll check if that link is not working. I'll ask for another link. Okay, and I'll give you the G Drive link then, basically. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
Sanket. Most welcome.
Policy related